Hello, good morning. Today is Saturday, July 9th, and I'm still in Belfast, currently at an Airbnb, which I will show you guys later. And it is 7 in the morning. We're about to get up to get, well, I'm already ready, but we're about to go and take a tour of Giant's Causeway. So guys, I'll show you guys that. I think we're also making some other stops as well, but it's a tour bus.
Between the British Army and the Irish Volunteers, later to become the Irish Republican Army, the IRA. The end of this civil rights movement held marches across our country. These marches were attacked by extreme unionists, and it led to a lot of street violence. It got that bad that in August of 1969, the British Army had to be brought back into here as peacekeepers. They came here believing they were going to be here for about 3 months. Nearly 30 years later, the signing of the Good Friday Agreement, the peace agreement we are still in to this day. That's when this period we know as the Troubles ended. So from 1969 up to 1998, we call that the Troubles. Some call it the conflict, some call it the war in Northern Ireland, but it is commonly known as the Troubles. Nearly 3,500 people lost their lives here during this period of time. Certainly wasn't a very nice place to live, let alone visit. We had absolutely no tourism in those days, and rightly so. It was a war zone. Nowadays, our biggest growing industry is indeed tourism. Cruise ships coming into Belfast. Well, 5 years ago we had 86 cruise ships come into the city. 2009.
So here's the first stop. This is a castle. And then there's like a couple of old boats. So this is the Albert Edward Pier. He didn't build it himself. He got some monks to build it for him. So this is the first stop on the tour. So on this tour we're going to see the Giant's Causeway, as well as we're going to some spots where they filmed pieces of Game of Thrones. So that's pretty cool if you've seen Game of Thrones. Let me do this. Also, it was mentioned that you're gonna see some markings like murals along the buildings and walls, and if it's green, white, and orange, that is, you know, person who's considered themselves Irish, and that's like an Irish community. If it's red, blue, and white, that means they consider themselves British, and that is a British community. Because here you still have some people who consider themselves Irish and people who consider themselves British in Northern Ireland. These guys see like flags hanging around, or murals hanging around. Y'all can kind of see like what type of community that is in the area. It's just like the little pier. And then that is the little castle piece.
Still about 3 more years of grad school ahead of me. But I want to use horses and therapy. And I'm Katie, by the way.
Okay, guys, up ahead of us to the right is a stretch of water. This is known as Belfast Lock. Back in 1177, when Carrickfergus Castle was built, this was known as Carrickfergus Bay, because back in those days, Carrickfergus was the main town here. Slowly but surely, as Belfast developed into the city we now have, the name did change. This side of Belfast Lock, we're in County Antrim. We stay within County Antrim today. We don't leave this county. The far side of the loch that you can see, that is County Down. Now, way up at the mouth of Belfast Lock, on the far side, you get a city called Bangor. It's only become a city within the last sort of 3 to 4 weeks of the Queen's Jubilee. But closer to the city on the far, we simply just drive past the site. It's a disused quarry. Game of Thrones leased this quarry for 10 years. This is where they filmed the ice wall. Castle Black, the gateway that leads north through the ice wall. They also filmed the Battle of Blackwater here. Don't be getting your hopes up. It's not going to be a mad profile photograph for your Facebook account. All you're going to see is what represents the ice wall. Now, the ice wall in Game of Thrones is 300 miles long, 700 feet tall. In reality, what you've got down here is a small section of the quarry wall, spray painted white. They CGI the ice and snow in afterwards. So that's all you're going to see. A painted section of this quarry wall. Now, up until about 4 months before the first lockdown, you were able to see Castle Black and the gateway that led north. But these were wooden structures. They started to fall apart, so they took them away at that point. The site has been bought over by someone from Singapore. They're going to transform this into a Game of Thrones theme park. That's the information we've been given. They were here before the lockdowns, and they did start to tidy up the perimeter of the quarry. As soon as COVID hit here, everything stopped. They haven't returned. The closer we get to the Causeway, reason being, this is the Irish Sea. The closer we get to the Causeway, it changes to the Atlantic. So you do expect a lot more waves at that point in the tour. And the little archway up ahead of us is known as the Black Arch, or the gateway to the Glens. Now, if you know anything about our politics, the city of Derry, Londonderry, note what way I said that, it was being politically correct. What you find, it's quite problematic. What you would find that unionists here call it Londonderry, nationalists here call it Derry. They dropped the London because that's British. So why in a nationalist town have they allowed the name the Londonderry Arms Hotel to remain? Surely in the theory of things it should be called the Derry Arms Hotel. Well, Lady Londonderry, the famine. She created work here for the locals. The little harbour to where the Game of Thrones location is, she got the locals to build that. Creating work, creating income, and saving them from the famine.
So we're coming up on a part where a section where the Game of Thrones was filmed. There's a particular scene where she comes out the water that it's really noticeable, but yeah, Game of Thrones was filmed a little bit here as well. And you can also notice the flags have changed. I don't know what happened. But yeah, the flag has changed. And I don't know if it got the part, but I said all costumes, jewelry, and weapons for Game of Thrones were made in Northern Ireland, and the extras had to be from Northern Ireland. They're alive. I saw some of them moving.
Let me go round the bend up ahead. If you look to the higher ground to your front, you'll see the ruins of an old castle. It is called the Red Fort. Then we're about to go through a little archway. It is known as the Red Arch. Everything here is red because of the red sandstone. You'll see it in the rock face as we make our way through the archway. Our country is made up of limestone, basalt rock, little pockets of this red sandstone.
It's making me laugh. It gets worse the drunker I am.
So we're going into the caves. They filmed the scene of Game of Thrones here. Ooh, ankle breaker. So they filmed a birth here in Game of Thrones. Yeah. And also they used to use caves to teach Catholic school, because at one point you weren't allowed to teach that stuff in regular school. So women would come live in the caves, and you would come to the caves to learn. So I'm gonna go into the bigger cave on the right first. It's kind of harder to focus my camera because it's dark. And the ground's a little wet because water does come in. So it's kind of a little muddy. They got a little Game of Thrones here.
So they actually get, the way that they get salt is they crack these rocks. They're actually called salt eggs. They crack them open, salt pours out. You gotta have like a...
Oh, it's like a little smaller cave. So here it is. Here's like another little piece of it. Some water. That's how the water comes up into the caves. And I'm not going up there because it's kind of slippery. So I'm going to walk back up.
If you want to go trudging through the green,
Here's like a
go
little
back
mini
farther.
area. And it's like some
I'm
green
trying to
stuff.
shine my flashlight, but it's fucking nothing. So I don't have to.
I don't want to go trudging through the green.
The flashlight doesn't help.
Because honestly, I'm afraid if I get that on my shoes, it's going to go everywhere.
I know, that's.
I think I can
That's
see the
too.
back of it over there, so. There we go. I thought that was moss. I didn't realize that was water.
Yep, no water.
No, it's not. I actually usually don't ever take photos because I don't know. Like, I just feel like the cameras don't really capture like what you really see.
You want to live in the moment.
No, that's
Like, I don't want to
exactly.
be so glued to my
Alright
camera
guys, all about the
that-
Causeway.
Exactly. I like never.
A million years ago,
I
because of
never looked
volcanic
through my photo
activity,
album. That never happened.
basically lava flowed down to the Salt Sea. As it cooled quite
That is-
slowly,
I love
it
that.
split
Like,
and fractured.
it's like the-
Now we ended up with these
I don't know what that is. It's like
43,000
moss,
hexagonal
bush.
pillars.
It's like this stuff.
That's one theory, but I'm going to tell you how it was really formed.
pretty.
It's not called the Giant's Causeway for nothing. It does indeed involve two giants. One here called Finn
I'll do
McCool,
my best, Savannah.
the other over in Scotland called Ben and Donner. These two were always wanting to fight.
That's good.
They used to hurl abuse at each other from across the Irish Sea. Well, eventually Finn McCool took it upon himself to build a walkway, a causeway, from here to Scotland. The closer he got to Scotland, the more he realised Ben and Donner was twice his size. This scared Finn McCool, and he run back to his wife and now what am I going to do? Ben and Donner's twice my size. He's going to kill me.
Well, to be honest with you,
Now, being of superior mind and knowledge, told Finn to hide in the baby's crib. That's what he did. Ben and Donner turns up, sees this extremely large baby in the baby's crib, and simply says, "But Jesus, if that's the size of Finn McCool's baby, what size must Finn McCool be?" He turns on his heels and runs back to Scotland, ripping up the causeway as he goes. Finn McCool then jumps up, scoops a piece of land from the centre of Northern Ireland, throws it at Scotland but misses. What he scoops up then fills with water, and now we've got Loch Ness. What he throws at Scotland is now known as the Isle of Man. If you look at the map of the UK, you will see that Loch Ness and the Isle of Man are very similar in size and shape. That's the theories. I'll put it this way, folks. Do you see any volcanoes about here? You have to believe in the giants. And this bit is very important.
It might be a little.
So we're walking down.
I think it would definitely be.
So we're walking down to the Giant's Causeway now. You can also take a bus down and take a bus up if you want, or you could just walk. I'm gonna walk. We got a bunch of time. Oh, this is so pretty. So guys, it's kind of janky for a little bit. Julian helped me up some little crazier rocks, but here is the Giant's Causeway, guys. Super pretty. All the rocks.
Watch the water, watch the water.
But this used to be a volcano area, and some kind of way it made these little hexagonal rocks everywhere. The most popular are those right there. You're good. But yeah, definitely get a bunch of pictures. Look at the water. This is the Atlantic Ocean. That's why the water is like choppier. Definitely a bunch of cool spots here. So right now I'm just sitting. I'm not really a sitter over the cliff type, but I'll sit here at a distance. But it looks very pretty. Review. And then I'm gonna get some pictures. Yeah, here's the Giant's Causeway, and these rocks were again formed by some type of volcanic something, and whatever material the rocks are made out of. Even though, like, if they get wet, they become very slippery, so you gotta watch out where you step. So yeah, really cool. And these little rocks. Hey guys, so I got a little couple pictures taken, and if you're wondering, there are some workers here who make sure you don't go on the craziest parts to climb. And he took my picture. He was really nice. And they just here for your the safety, but some people, they be climbing all over the place. It's a little scary to me, but they're doing it and I can't. So I'm gonna get some footage so you can see how they're climbing or whatever. And I'm a scaredy cat, but yeah. And they're climbing up this.
Yeah.
It's pretty high.
I don't know if we're the last of the last, but like we're all everybody, so we're gonna assume we're good.
You gotta climb up.
I remember themselves. I want to say yes.
Making his way.
Okay.
Because those rocks all move, so you gotta be careful. And the ones way over there. But you can only get to those by climbing through this, or climbing through that part to get there. And I'm doing neither, so yeah. The waves have picked up in the water as come up a bit. And this is the walk back. I must get almost like this part. Now this is the walk back. So now we are headed to see the Dark Hedges. It was in really like 6 seconds of the Game of Thrones, but it made it really famous. And during the summer, like hundreds of people come like on one day to come see these trees. The Dark Hedges was also in Transformers 5 the last night, which is really cool because that's like favorite little franchise of my sister.
I don't know if these are